Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the old stream farm, where today we're windrowing up the grass that we cut in the last video. We're a beautiful little Steyr, and we're using the new Holland windrower. You have to excuse frame rate issues, I don't know what's causing them. And they are within the game, so that is something I'll have to look at later on tonight. On top of everything else I was already planning on doing. So this is going to be a bit of a weird week, I think. There's a lot of work to be done, and I got plenty of time to spare. Well, I know that, you know, this farm is basically my full-time job, so it doesn't matter too much, but there's a lot of work to be done, and it's about time we got really some progress made on the farm. So what I am going to do is I'm going to put out one video a day for the next week, next 5 days, and see how we do. I'm not entirely sure what's causing these frame rate problems, and they're irritating me. We got most of the fields windrowed, most of the meadows, because I have mowed them all and I've windrowed most of them. It is just a case of windrowing these final two, and then getting the the liquid, the additives for the Mingella. I don't know how exactly I'm going to do this all today, but I'm going to have to, because it is basically, this is my shot to get the silage done before summer, so that I can get hay done in the summer. And before anybody asks, add a character. No, I'm not going to be putting the Coon DLC into the save game this week. No, that would be silly. It will be in another save game this week, but it won't be in this one. In a few other save games this week. Oh no, I'm going to be using the two now. Never mind. Not entirely sure where I'm going at the moment. Sergey is, of course, off at the pub still. He is taking the day off for himself, which is all well and good, but there's plenty of work to do, and I can't see why he can't do any of it. He's decided he can't, though, so I'm stuck on my lonesome. Which, you know, it sucks. It's not fun. But as long as there's work to do, I can get it done. And windrowing is not fun work. It's relaxing, but it's not necessarily fun. Especially not with this thing, which just tends to have a mind of its own at times, it seems. So what I'm doing is I'm going to put two headlands. Do I really need two headlands? I'm going to put two headlands. I don't necessarily know if I need them, though, on this field. So this is going to be the first headland, and the second one's going to go just off to my right, as you're looking at now, so just over there. The entire aim here is to just get as much grass rolled up as possible, as quickly as possible, because I know the Mingella is a bit notorious for jamming once you get up to any sort of speed. So I'm gonna go to the drone view and keep my microphone turned on, but I'm gonna go to the drone view so you guys get a better idea of what's going on, what I'm doing. So as you can see, I'm driving down in between two swaths, making sure I'm collecting as much grass as I possibly can to lay it over into what is basically a third swath that is the combination of both swaths. Can I say swath any more than I currently am? Probably not. In fact, it'd probably be easier to just do the one swath into the second, wouldn't it? Ooh, I took that turn a bit too tight. Yeah, this is going to be one swath into the second and just try and pile the grass high. Now the reason I'm windrowing it, as opposed to just going over it with the Mangala directly, is this is in theory going to speed things up. Yes, I'll have to drive over and back with the Mangala, but I'll put the probably the TS on the front of that, because the TS has basically more speed than anything else I've got, and I can borrow Sergey's. I'm just gonna keep calling it a bulldozer. So Sergey's bulldozer to clamp the silage when it's done. So the entire aim here is just get silage made so that we can have it for the cows. And granted, pit silage is not the most convenient form of silage, but it's what we can make. Let's spin this around. This is a wheel-driven rake, by the way, so I've got a little string that you can't quite make it out. There's a little piece of wood that I'm using to connect and disconnect the PTO. And yeah, I'm just giving that little nudge. Just PTO disconnects, give it a nudge back, it reconnects. It works. It's not the best tool in the world, but it'll do. If it's a stupid idea, as I always say, if it's a stupid idea but it works, then it ain't really stupid. But we do need to get the local green mode ideally early summer. They still haven't told me what more they have, which is really getting concerning at this point. That I still don't know what more I'm gonna have to be using. If it turns out to be a push more, I'll have to probably take more of a loan at the bank. They will give me up to, I think it's 10% of my land value before they cut me off. So I mean, there's still plenty of loan to go, but I will need to get some sort of self-propelled mower. And if I can get a self-propelled, that means I can do the municipal mowing too, and just leave it somewhere convenient for me to come down with a front loader at a later date. So this is the second headland now done. Let's start swathing some relatively, but not perfectly, straight lines. Didn't need to turn that tightly, or needed to turn tighter than that, because I just realized the way that I'm going to be going, I can actually do it from here. This is going to turn to the inside like that. Yes, perfect. So I'm just going to follow the same contour I did with the headland, because it doesn't need to be perfectly straight lines. There's nothing here that is straight line dependent or could be damaged by not using a perfectly straight line. Also, it just means the grass is going to swathe up in a bit of a nicer manner. So that is that done. Let's just swing it right around. And collect up the other side of the swath. Yes, I know that I'm swathing the swath, and I'm moving the swath over a bit as well, but that's not too big a deal. The main priority is just getting as much grass into the swath in the first place as I can. Once the grass is in there, it's in there. That's no longer a big deal. Now, the drone is fully charged and does have a few memory cards in there, so it should last enough time to make a video out of this. I got it following my phone, which is in my pocket. If you're wondering how it works, there's an app on my phone. I've got it following the app at a certain distance behind. So that's how this is all working out. We're making really good, solid progress, I think. Now, obviously there's a lot of swathing yet to go, a lot of windrowing yet to go, so probably won't get it all done today, or in this video. But we'll get it all done today, and then we'll move on to actually collecting up the silage. I'll have to clamp it once it's all collected though, which is going to be problematic, I think. Because, I mean, I'll have to crush down all of the grass at once as opposed to a trailer load at a time, because Sergey's not going to be in any fit state to operate heavy machinery, and that bulldozer is pretty heavy. On the bright side, we do have decent sized clamps, so it shouldn't... I mean, we've got multiple clamps and they're big, so I'm going to be using one of the box clamps. One of the three-sided ones, just because that is going to be the best option. Realistically, it's the best option. Because at least that way I can kind of shove the grass way back into it, right up to the edge, and use the edge as a kind of a crushing mechanism as well. As obviously the weight of the tractor and trailer coming in over the grass. So, decent. I think we're going at a decent speed for what we are doing, because this is kind of a finicky job with all the turns we're having to pull in very quick succession. And the main thing is there's less windrows to collect than there were, which there will be. So, I mean, I don't see much of a problem here. Add a character, and just looking at the time, it's 25 to 12 on Sunday night, so this might be a bit shortish video. I kind of had to do a lot this evening, and time's caught up with me. I had to do a lot of AFK stuff, including take a shower, because I don't know when the next time I'll have a shower available to me will be. But, I'm going to finish off this field, definitely finish off this field, and get started on the final field. Everything else is windrowed up already. It's just the two fields we mowed in the last video need to be windrowed. Need to be done. So this field we're making good steady progress. And it's just a case of collecting. Like I said, just collect as much as we possibly can into this. Now, obviously money's kind of short. Money's kind of tight. But, there's a but. We have that municipal mowing contract, which they've said every time the town is clear of grass, which I don't know how much we have to do, so I'll just do as much as I possibly can around the town, even into the next town, because it is kind of a combination council between the two towns, which means I'll have to drive. If I end up getting a self-propelled, I'm gonna have to drive that thing around, and then get all of my equipment over there to pick up the grass. But it should be possible. Don't quite know how. I don't quite know what self-propelled, if any, I'm gonna have. I do have a sickle bar mower, which doesn't seem to work very well, but you know, if that's what I need to use for the municipal mow, I will use it. It is, or was in the shed behind this thing. It's now just left in the shed. ready to go in case something breaks down. It's always good to have a spare, even if it is, you know, 50, 60 years old. Let's get over to the other field now. The other meadow. And that's going to be the silage pit we'll use most likely, although we might also use that one. Depends on pretty much what goes on here. So, in through here, out the door. Over to windrow once more. I'm not good at poetry, can you tell? I wouldn't be a very good children's entertainer, I don't think. I'm not good at poetry, I never was. So, let's get this field started at least. And just looking at the time, yeah, I'm kind of after running out of time, I think. It is 20 to 12 now, and yeah, I'm going to be keeping people awake if I record much later than this. So, I have to apologise for this being a bit of a shorter video. The drone is running out of battery a lot quicker than I expected, as is the GoPro on my head. So that's kind of all come at a bad time. I will see you guys tomorrow, where we'll be collecting up the grass with the Mangala. And out of character, I do know that there's a fixed version of the map available. I'm kind of waiting until I got the harvest done to actually get it, because it will involve a GRE swap, and that's not good. In fact, I'll probably just plough this field up so that it has the same basic effect. But I will leave you by saying I've been RainbowDave. You've been watching Farming Simulator 17 on the Old Streams farm, also known as Old Streams version 2. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. And do leave your comments and suggestions for other things we can do, other storylines we can follow here. Or even, you know, something that might force us to move, if you really want the Old Streams roleplay to come to an end and starting a new map at the time. There is one map that I know of that I'll be moving to when it is out, and when I can play on it. I'll be moving the roleplay to there. There is absolutely no doubt. Those of you who wanted the roleplay to return, you know what map I'm thinking of, and you exactly why. But until next time, stay safe, and goodbye.